What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode at the Nerdy Volume Podcast. And today we're going to be talking about one of the new animes that came out this 2023 winter season. And this show is called Tomo-chan is a Girl, or the Japanese term, I'm going to try this one, Tomo-chan wa Onanoko. Okay?
Damn, and your Japanese is on point.
Thank you. Oh, arigato. And, just to, give a little plot, it's a boyish high school girl, Tomo Aizawa, wants her childhood friend, Junichiro Kubota, to see her as an actual girl. But every attempt ends up in vain. Will Junichiro ever realize Tomo's romantic feelings towards him? And yeah, let's get into it. We have some great characters, great anime, great storytelling, and by the way that the anime is going, it's kind of like episodic in one episode. Like in the first couple episodes, you kind of get introduced to all the characters. You see that, Tomo's like, June, I love you, and June's like, yeah, I love you too, bro. Knuckles, and then they're like, okay,
That's not what I meant by that, but okay.
Right. And then you have the other best friend of Tomo, Misuzu, and she's like this very, how would I say, like, I don't want to say a gloomy character, but she's more like a realistic character. It's kind of like a
sociopath.
I want to say like an indie character, the one that everybody wants to try to do that's trying to be different. At least that's what she get. That's that vibe. What do you get? What kind of like vibe do you get from Misuzu? As a character that is close to Tomo other than Junichiro or June?
A sociopath. Yeah. Yeah. He has no emotions whatsoever. Words, huh? No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love her character. I think her character is great because it's just, she's so like dry and straight to the point and loves to see June like in turmoil all the time.
Every time. Yeah. It's so funny. And I think that Misuzu is definitely the right balance with Tomo. Tomo's she's such a
high
bright
energy
character. Yeah. High energy. Yeah, that's better. And she balances out, Misuzu's not gloomy, but more realistic character. She's like one of them.
Down to earth.
Yeah, down to earth. She kind of gets it. Like she gets the social cues without, she's not oblivious to it. And then, you see the three of them and Tomo is introducing everybody in the beginning. Tomo's like, this is my friend June. I have a big crush on him, but there's one problem, he's like, he thinks I'm a dude or something like that. Or like she treats him like a guy. And then she's like, this is my other friend, Misuzu. And she hates June. And that's one of the things that I guess in the beginning, because I just watched yesterday's, the episode that came out yesterday, and you really get to see, right? Episode 7, yeah. You really get to see the three and how they started. Now, before we get into more of this show, we are at the halfway point in this season, so we are only now bringing it up because I feel like we should definitely be like talking a little bit more about the anime side, because I may or may not be talking about webtoons in the future, y'all. So I don't know if you guys saw the K-drama episode that we did. I did kind of do like a little teaser, so look out for that. So I felt this is definitely something that a lot of people are watching, especially if you read the comments on like Crunchyroll, because that's where I watch it, and the comments are just hilarious and pretty wholesome for the most part. When I used to read the manga like 5 years ago, I never ever thought this was going to be an anime, because it didn't become an anime after like the first 2 years of me reading it.
I think the manga came out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
About
5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah. And what was funny is that when I first found it, they only had like 80 chapters or maybe 90. And they weren't coming out like one at a time. They were coming out in like 10s and 20s. There was one time it came out at 100. And I was like, whoa. Granted, the actual mangas were only a single page. So every chapter was a single page. Total, it comes out to be 8 volumes of the show.
Wow, dang.
To me, the show is actually progressing pretty fast compared to the manga, which makes sense.
Right, yeah.
So, and then you see those 3 as the main 3 characters. And then you have other characters like Tanabe, who's kind of like the happy-go-lucky. He looks like the dude that he's like everybody knows, and they either like him or they think he's annoying, but they don't dislike him. He reminds me of myself. I was that guy that everybody knew. You were either annoyed with me or you were like, he's cool. I was this is before I started showing what I can do. When I brought the ukulele to school, people are like, "Well, you know how to play that?" And at the time, I sucked. I absolutely was garbage. But they thought I was like a god. I was like, "Yeah, thank you."
You know it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have Tanabe, who is also one of their classmates, and then you have their senpai, Misaki, who is the captain of the men's karate club, and you see him because Tomo is the daughter of a karate family, or I guess her father's a karate dojo sensei. And so she's super strong. She's obviously, she's the daughter of the main teacher, of the master, and she's going to be going into the boys' karate club, and it makes sense, And Misaki, he admires her a lot because of how strong she is.
Yeah,
but he's an older. Yeah, he's a captain, and he's a year older. So you see Tomo saying, Misaki senpai, all this stuff. And Misaki is probably one of the only dudes that view Tomo as a girl that should be treated delicately until they started to fight.
And she
absolutely wrecked him. Yeah. And, and you have Misaki, but, I think he's like the only senpai that I remember in the show that actually, interacts with the main crew, and you bring in and then Misaki brings in another character who is very crucial to this group, and her name is Carol. And Carol and Tomo didn't have the greatest relationship in the beginning. Fun fact, Jun has met Misaki senpai, and because of him being the captain, he wants to fight. At least that's what we think, but the storyteller makes it look like Jun's actually jealous that this guy is fighting Tomo.
Wait.
And
okay. So
yeah, you're saying, like episode 3.
So you're saying that Jun is jealous not because he gets to be around Tomo, or that because Tomo also like admires Misaki, but not in like he thinks he's just a cool guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that Jun was jealous of that. You're saying that he's actually jealous because he wants to fight him?
I think he wants to fight him, but that's the way that we all seen it. But I think the writer intended for it to be because of jealousy. Disguised.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
But there's I have no confirmation on that theory. But it makes sense if it's that type of show,
Yeah, no, well, and I guess so people know, so Tomo likes Jun. But Jun continues to say he doesn't like Tomo, right? And he doesn't.
Or no, he doesn't view her like a girl.
Yeah. He doesn't even view her like that. But then you see things like when she's interacting with Misaki, and he kind of like gets really like fired up or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, you like her? Just
yeah. Like you like
even
her.
To your emotions, bro. Before you lose her forever.
Exactly, and it's crazy. So. In the manga, there's 900 and some chapters, but there's only one page a chapter. So there's only, there's 900 pages of the show or of the manga. And for some reason, I believe that we're already at like 450. And then I think about it. I'm like, oh, that's half of 900, isn't it? Because I'm like, I remember this scene. I was like, was this scene already here? I was like, they missed a couple things.
So this might be only one season.
Yeah, there was a okay. Remember the scene when they played volleyball? And or not volleyball, excuse me, dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yeah,
yeah. And Tomo was on the girls' team, and she was gonna fight all these other first year characters or girls, excuse me. And the teacher in the manga is the one that's supposed to tell Tomo to go to the boys' team. In the anime, she just went to the boys' team, and she just felt like she was down in the dumps. And then but they totally missed that the teacher was absolutely afraid of Tomo.
No. In the anime, the teacher, after she throws the ball, deflates it, smashing into the wall. The teacher is like, Tomo, you're gonna join the boys team. And she's like, why does this happen to me again?
she has like an inner dialogue, the teacher. Like the teacher's always been afraid of Tomo because of how scary Tomo is.
Yeah.
And
everybody's
scared
of her until they realize she just wants to be your friend.
Exactly.
Like the two girls. Those two girls that,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank, what's their names?
Like,
I think Chiyomi.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think Chiyomi and
what's his name's number, right?
Misaki. Yeah, they like
Misaki's number. Yeah.
Ogawa and Mifune. There you go. That was the two girls that they're Tomo thought they were gonna scrap, and they're like, "What?" Like they were just trying to apply pressure. And
so we just want Misaki's number. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yep. Oh, and speaking of Misaki, now I remember. Yeah, I remember when Misaki was talking to June about Tomo fighting, and Misaki was like, oh, you fight at Tomo's dojo. He's like, yeah, we get real nasty with it. We punch each other. And Misaki's like, you can't do that. She's a girl. And he's like, I know, but have you ever fought Tomo? Like, you know how it is. And then you just see her just like straight up squaring up. And he's like, yeah, dude, you're going to have to do something.
You can't just let it be. She will wreck you.
Yeah. I was like, you're absolutely right.
She'll wreck you either way.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, no. So this show is definitely one to watch if you guys, or if anyone who is listening or watching is into definitely romantic comedy and a lot of wholesome relationships. To be honest, I think it's a one of a kind show. It kind of gives me there was another show that it reminds me of, but it doesn't have that same niche, but has that wholesomeness. Like Spy Family has a lot of wholesomeness between. Oh, there's True Love, yes, but I mean, like, relationships in general. Like,
is that what that anime's called? True Love, right?
True Love. Oh,
where I remember the one with the black ugly cat guy. It's some ugly dude, and he has a friend who's really handsome. And the really pretty girl falls in love with the ugly guy, but the entire time he's convinced that she likes the pretty boy.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get them together.
What? Oh, my first true love, or is it my true love?
Oh, you know what? It could be my first love. Let's see,
my first love. Yeah, because I only know the Japanese term for it. Ore monogatari.
Oh no, my love story. My love story. That was a great anime.
Oh, that is, yeah, with Takeo. Yes. I 100%. Oh my gosh, that's a great, yes. They are definitely the same. They have the same. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would pair them together if you guys ever wanted to watch like a rom-com with like two or I guess different types of people trying to get into a normal relationship. Takeo is just beast. He's a beast of a man, and he likes, he likes the girls his age, and the girls his age think he's a grown man. He's a osan, Takeo osan. And then you have Tomo, who is not, she's a girl, 100%.
But also looks like a beast to most people.
Yeah, she looks like a beast. And she's in love with Junichiro, who's actually pretty popular in school, and he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And in this episode, this week's episode, you see that he is he's like any other dude, You know, he's very captivated by the female. Very, you know, is attracted to certain things, a pair of things, and that's where you get to see that he is definitely, you know, he's checking him out, but you know, he's trying to be as respectful as possible by just like looking up
into the sky the whole time. Yeah, he's just
in
like,
the sky.
Why are you looking up? Ignores the question. Is like, where's Tomo?
Exactly. And then he's like, what are you wearing a hoodie for?
Yeah, I really like Carol. I think she's hilarious. Because they make her out to be like this, you know, dumb looking character. Like she doesn't really, she's clueless is the word. Yeah. Clueless. And then you realize, nah, man, she kind of a genius.
Yeah.
She's hecka smart. Because my wife was saying, it's like, all she is, she has no EQ is what the problem is. She has no social, like understanding of things, which is hilarious. But yeah, because when she invited Tomo and Misuzu to her house, and they're like, "Oh, you play her, and she's really great," and then she just owns her anyways too. It's like, yeah, and she comes in first place in her class, ranked 1 for like, like, oh, and she just like, yeah, that's me. I'm smart. All of you think
you're
I'm
absolutely
not,
right.
But I am.
Carol is the opposite of Misuzu, but they are the same.
Yeah,
which is so funny. Like they're on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
It makes me laugh.
Why they hang out a lot.
Yeah, and I really like how back in Carol's day, she couldn't make friends because you know a lot of people I guess was maybe envious. I don't remember all too well, but I'm pretty sure that she was always dressed really prettily, so like all the boys would want to hang out with her, but she wants to hang out with everybody, and the girls didn't like that. And so when she met Misuzu and Tomo, they had their own thing going, which is what makes good friends. You know, you want to make friends with people that have things going on, you know what I mean? And despite all that, they still want to be your friend. And that's why I'm like, this is cool, man. Like when I first saw Tomo, I knew Tomo was going to be Carol's friend. Do you remember, I think it was episode 3, that's when they introduced Carol.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, she's like, I want to get stronger. So she goes to June, and then he's all like, who's your enemy? He's like, Tomo. He's like, I can make you as strong as a bear cub. I was like, I love that we get a visual idea of how strong he can make her. And he's like, all right, we're going to go run. And they literally get past the gate and she's done.
Yeah, she's like, oh.
And it was all because she was jealous. Like the two freshman girls, how they wanted to, you know, talk to Tomo in the back, and Tomo thought they wanted to fight. And then Carol wanted to do the same thing because of Misaki. And Carol didn't understand until later on in that episode. She's like, oh, all right, I don't need to fight anymore.
Right.
And he's like, oh, wow, Tomo was your fighter. Oh, yeah, that's right. She didn't tell him who she had to fight, but he said a bear cub. And he said, yo, Tomo was the one you're going to fight? Oh, yeah, no. He's like, no, you need to change your life choices.
Yeah.
So what do you see in the future? Because I mean, you haven't read the manga, so I kind of know how everything is going to pan out. So what do you think is going to go on with, I guess, the first 6 characters that I brought up being Tomo, Jun, Misuzu, Carol, Misaki, and Tanabe?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, the hope is that Tomo and Jun do get together. Although I'm not holding my breath.
Animes.
If there's one thing
with animes, you never know.
There's one thing I've learned with animes is that they never get together. So they just leave you wanting it, but never dropping another season. Probably because the manga ends or whatever. I don't know, man. They like to always leave you hanging.
They do. They do.
Hopefully, if anything, Tanabe kind of becomes Misuzu's friend, because you know Tanabe is the one who's crushing on her, right? He's the orange hair guy.
I think he's he's always had a thing for her.
Misuzu.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, she be. I love the part where she goes He's like, what do I have to do to make you smile? Right? And she's like, do you like me? And he's like, yes. And she goes, well, come and tell me seriously that you like me, and then I'll reject you, and that will make me smile. I was like, savage girl. So messed up.
Yeah. Tanabe, man, he's just taking the hits. And
Yeah.
I think in the man, never mind. I don't want to spoil that part. That's because what I'm thinking about is probably a really good part for the viewers and the listeners and the watchers. Okay. All right. So next,
The viewers, the listeners, and the
Misaki and Carol are the next two.
I mean, they're gonna be friends. I mean, they're already friends.
Which is weird. I think they said they were related.
I thought Carol. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I heard you said Misaki, but I heard you say Masuzu in my head.
Oh,
right?
I see.
But yeah. Carol and Misaki are related. They're cousins of some sort.
I think so. They might not be.
No, they are. That Misaki, when he introduced her, he said, "This is my cousin from England." And Carol, and then Carol wants to marry him, which once again, not a surprise.
Because they're blonde. They, blondes like blondes.
I guess. Yeah.
And so, yeah, okay. Well, then it's weird. It's weird that Tanabe and Misaki are on the front or the intro of the anime. You know how they have the intro and all that stuff, and you see the 6 silhouettes on the bottom, and it's definitely Jun, Tomo, Misaki, Tanabe, Misuzu, and Carol. I was just like, that's 6 of them. I was just like, but we see majority 4 of them, and then every now and then you'll see the other characters like Mifune and Ogawa. And of course, you won't see Tanabe and Misaki almost every episode, because in the manga they were pretty prominent in there. But they really they were like, you'll see Tanabe pretty often. But like I said, like they had one page chapters. In the first 10, there'll be like 10 in a story arc if there's a story arc, and then there'll be like a bunch of like miscellaneous single chapters, But anyway, let's talk about the parents. The parents of these characters. You see Akemi and Goma, who is Tomo's parents. Or no, I'm sorry, not Goma. Goro. Yeah, Goro Aizawa. So you see the 2 parents, and they're like my love story people. Takeo,
the big brute and the pretty girl.
Yeah. And but what's funny is that when Tomo talks about the love that her dad gives to her mom, when they were in high school, like whenever Akemi needed someone, Goro was always there, and he looked like Akuma coming from the fire, like on the side of Akemi. She's just like chilling with her arms like crossed, just like, and then he's just like, like, just ready to fight or something. And I was just like, with Akemi standing like that, it looked like it was her fault. It looks like he had to clean up her mess. And then you see Misuzu's mom, Misaki, is also, her name is Misaki as well, and she's just like Misuzu. Do you remember when when Tomo came to say hi, she's like, Akemi?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, this is Tomo.
She's like, Akemi? No, it's Tomo. You look exactly like your mom.
Yeah. She's like, don't turn out to be like her.
Only with shorter hair. That's the only difference between the two.
Yep. I thought it was cool that they were that Misuzu and Tomo were like childhood friends, like from when they were babies.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in contact with friends that are on that, or like when you were babies, you and your friend?
Yeah. Actually, I do.
That's cool. Those are always cool.
Let's see. There's one just came to visit us in October. right? And she's been my friend. Well, not since a baby, but we've been friends since preschool. From preschool, bro. We've known each other forever. And I have another friend who I have known since she was a baby, and we're like maybe a year and a half apart or something like that. And so when we moved to Canada, she was just born.
Oh, so wow.
I mean I've known her. I mean, literally, practically our entire lives, and so is the one that came to visit. I've known her pretty much my entire life. So, yeah.
Wow.
And then I have other friends. I have one friend that I have been trying to look for forever, and I cannot find him anywhere. And the thing is, I lived in Canada, as all of you probably already know. So he was in Canada too. And when I moved, I was like 12 or whatever. The internet was just becoming like a thing. It wasn't that great of. We still had dial-up. Yeah. There was no Facebook or there was no Facebook. There was not even MySpace. MSN was really the only way to contact people, and neither of us had that. So
an AIM.
And then I lost contact with them. So I've been for the past maybe 10 years, I've been looking for him, and I cannot find him anywhere. And I'm like, does he even still live in Canada, or does he live somewhere else? I don't know. One day, hopefully, I'll be able to find him.
You'll find him. It's probably on Instagram. I was realizing too that you really can't find any of your people our age. If you can't find them on Facebook, then they're probably not on social media. And
that's also probably true.
Yeah, and for the younger generation, I want to say like 15 years younger, or no, like maybe 12 years younger. Not 15. 15 might be a little bit too young, but so I guess early 20s. And if they don't have a Facebook, it's probably because they have something else like Instagram or Snapchat. You really don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And those, and then the even younger will most likely be Instagram, and because Instagram is the new age Facebook. And then in the next 10 years, the kids of that era, the kids that are born now, in 10, 12 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, you have Instagram? You're old. And then they're like, oh, you have a Facebook? You're a dinosaur. It's like, excuse me? Excuse me? I remember someone told me, they're like, oh, you have a Facebook? But you must be old. I looked at them and I'm like, you don't even know how to work a computer, do you? I was like, I bet you don't know.
You're fighting with a 5-year-old.
I was like, yeah, like, what? Huh? No.
I get called old all the time at work. So
really?
I know. Yeah, these kids are only like 10 years younger. They're like, when I tell them how old I'm like, dang, you're old. I'm like, bro, you're only 10 years away. When you hit my age, you're gonna realize there was no difference, except maybe a few more wrinkles.
yeah, and bones hurt at random. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I don't feel that yet. No, I'm just kidding. I do.
Anyway, back to the show. So, and then we have Carol's mom.
Carol's mom who act the same way as Carol.
Yes, Ferris. I believe her name is Ferris, and she is hilarious. And she is. It's so funny. Like whenever Carol and the mom see each other, they like hug it out and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's been so long," and it'd be just from like the front door to the outside of the property. It takes them on like 3 days to find the house, and I was like, "That is hilarious." And I mean, like,
"That is a long time."
Yeah. Well, with today's episode, you do get to see a lot more of what happens with the main three, which is Tomo, Jun, and Misuzu. And it's kind of cute to see that Misuzu and Jun has always wanted or has always vied for the attention of Tomo. And then as you get older, like neither of them were going to take her away. Well, maybe Misuzu would have took Tomo away from Jun if Tomo didn't fall in love with Jun. And you kind of get to see all that. Mm-hmm. So I think that this show is definitely one to watch with friends and family. I highly recommend. And it's funny that you brought up my love story anime, because I remember I had my buddy who was in town from Hawaii, And I'm like, hey man, you want to watch anything? He's like, I'll watch whatever. I haven't really seen much. And I was like, you into a rom-com? And he's like, all right, yeah, whatever. And I was like, all right, just check out My Love Story or Ore Monogatari. That's what I told him. He found it on, I think, Hulu. And we watched it, like, started at 9 p.m., okay? And I watched it with him till about 1 a.m. and I fell asleep. And then I woke up at like 10 a.m. and he's still watching the show. I was like, did you sleep? He's like, no, man, this is good. I was like, I told you. I thought I was tripping.
It's such a great. I think I think that was my first, like, I want to say that was probably my first like rom-com that I watched. I can't think of any other one before that. And I was like, man, this is so good. You just sit there rooting for the main character the whole time, or the main characters. But yeah, no, it's a good show. After you're finished with Tomo-chan, definitely give My Love Story, or my first love, My Love Story, a chance.
Yes,
because it's highly recommend. It's worth it.
Highly recommend, because it's definitely one of those. It's a feel good show into a feel good show. And I know that if you guys are gonna be, if you guys haven't even watched My Love Story, but you're watching Tomo-chan Is a Girl, you definitely want to watch. You want to watch it, because there's that feeling after you finish the anime and you're just like, oh, I need something to watch. I need something. Yeah, My Love Story is the one. Yeah,
I agree.
You have any last words for the show, Leo?
Yeah. I really hope that if they change one, because I'm sure they've changed things from the manga to the show, because they always do stuff like that. But if they should change one thing for sure, if it didn't happen in the manga, they should have Tomo and June fall in love with each other and live happily ever after.
So we're having a prediction right here. All right, y'all. So write down your predictions in the comments below on the YouTube or in any of our social media commenting sections, whether it's be on Instagram or Twitter or whatever you use. And let us know, what you think is going to happen before the end of the season. You have until, I want to say, like the end of March. So do that. Do that right now. Actually, are you listening? You. Mm-hmm. The one reaching for your keys. Yep, yeah. You. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you.
You.
Right at you. Don't look away from me.
What are you looking at? No. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and also listen to us on Anchor FM, where you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and more. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can watch this podcast in video format and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you guys next time.
Peace.